Jared here, doing another hand model video. This is a continuation on a multiple series video about the turbocharger on a 2.0 liter TFSI engine. This particular turbocharger right here is the one that I took off the customer vehicle, and the vehicle actually did not have a check engine light, but I was hearing a kind of a very abnormal noise that I've never heard from any of these cars before. It did sound like a rattly turbine shaft in the turbocharger. So I went ahead and just proceeded with the turbo repair. The customer was already talking about how he wanted to do a catalyst delete anyway. So whenever I pulled it off, the shaft did not seem terribly loose, but comparatively to, surprisingly, this door was perfect, because this door sometimes rattles and makes noise, but we'll get to that. Comparatively, sometimes these turbochargers, this shaft will have a little bit of side-to-side play, but any in and out play and you're done. But this one does have a little bit of side-to-side play. I typically would say, oh, that's within tolerance, but comparing the side-to-side play on this with like 3 or 4 other turbos I have laying around, this is the most excessive play that I've got on any of the turbos that I've currently got here. Pretty much all of them that I feel don't have hardly any play whatsoever. I mean, I can barely see any tolerance, and so that's something to know in the future for these. Coming back to the other point, if you'll notice, this linkage right here, this is your wastegate diaphragm. Someone bent it. They most likely probably had a bad turbo, and to try to fix it, they thought that they could, and because I see the linkage is actually way wallered out. Let me see if I can get that in the camera. This linkage inside there is way wallered out. So I almost 100% guarantee someone did a backyard fix on this and said, I bet you I can bend a little kink in that thing like a coat hanger, and then we'll get our boost back. Well, what happens is, you see how it's binding in that bracket there, and it's not gonna flow good, and then you're gonna have overboost issues. I don't know that this one had overboost issues, but that can cause problems as well because you're not tuned for those conditions. So, and my customer was definitely flooring it all the time. I had even, before this happened, I had even taken one of his mufflers out. There's 2 mufflers in this B8A4. I took one of them out and put a straight pipe in. Okay, so the purpose, back to the actual purpose for this video, I'm gonna take all the components that I need to take off this turbo and put it onto the replacement one that's all in good shape with completely straight wastegate linkage. And also, it's got, this linkage here is not worn out, and the flap door is completely flush and in good shape, and I went ahead and installed the turbo clip. So let's move forward. Looking at it from the top here, I always take the turbocharger off with this long coolant hose connected. That's just how I feel like it's easiest to do that. It is possible when it's in the car to go ahead and take this triple square 8mm out, and then, you know, if you're real crafty, you can take this stubby 8mm and you can fish it down in here behind that wastegate linkage, and it's probably extremely difficult. I don't know if I have the tools in hand to do it. I bet you if I had Nipex jaw pliers, it would work, but I'm trying my plier inches. I'll give it 2 more seconds, and if it doesn't bust loose, then we're forfeiting and trying a different method. Okay, so I even, from this outside, so I could have done this whenever this was still on the car. I even busted it loose with my slick jaw pliers. But let's see if I can get it loose the rest of the way, and then I'll show you the hose pulling off. Okay, here's the back side. This is the bent wastegate linkage. Honestly, if this was not bent, I probably could get it with this ratchet here. This ratchet, I always like the ones that have the flex heads, but then if you want, you can lock it into place on the back there. But since this linkage is bent, we're still getting, this right here is a little, the swivel on the end of it. I bought a whole kit of those. So just to show you, that's how you get it out from the backside. And then this is that coolant pipe. So what we're gonna do is, you saw how I took it off, that's gonna be transferred to the new one. And then on the bottom here, this is the drain hose for your oil. And this right here bolts to the block. And what I have here, you always want to replace these. On both sides, I'm going to put a gasket, brand new. And then I've got all the appropriate crush washers for my banjo fittings. That's what those are called. So this right here unbolts, and then this pipe comes loose right here. After I broke it loose, I can just unscrew it the rest of the way. See there? And then this one here. See there? And then put that one on with the new gasket on your new turbo. And then the other hoses are already either taken off, like I showed you in a previous video. You take the oil pressure hose off, and then everything else is on the block, so that'll be in the next video.